Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Charlie, Chuck, and Puck. As always, I'm your host, Chuck, with the hockey guru himself.
Charlie.
And today, of course, we're talking all things
Puck.
Today, special edition, we're talking about the best player on each NHL team. Not our favorite player, but who we think is the most valuable to their team. So, we're going to start it off in alphabetical order with Anaheim. So my pick for Anaheim, I think before the playoffs I might have picked someone else, but after the playoffs I got to go with Ryan Getzlaf.
Me too.
Look at that, we both agreed on one. So the next team, Arizona.
Domi he just has a good future.
Max Domi, he does have a good future. I picked Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
He also does have a good future too.
You got it. So next we have Boston. I went with probably the best two-way player in the NHL, Patrice Bergeron.
I'm with Tuukka Rask. He won a cup for the Bruins. He's, in my opinion, number 5 goalie.
That's a good pick.
And I got stuck with Marchand and Rask, and I just had to pick Rask.
Hey, some of these picks are tough. Next up, this one was a tough one for me in Buffalo. So I had to go with the guy I think is going to lead this franchise moving forward. I went with Rasmus Ristolainen. I know he's young, but I really think he's got a big upside, and I really think he's going to be a leader for this team.
I went with Ryan O'Reilly. I think he can steal the first line job from Eichel, and
That's a good pick. Played for Canada, he's World Cup. Next up, we have Calgary. So I think with Calgary, I went with Johnny Hockey. It's hard to not pick Johnny Hockey on that team. What about you?
Johnny Hockey, I got stuck with Hockey, Monahan, and Goudreau.
Yeah.
And I just had to pick Goudreau.
Good pick. Next up, Carolina. This one was a tough one for me. I picked, again, another two-way player in Jordan Staal. How about you?
Jeff Skinner. If Skinner gets hurt, Hurricanes are not good.
Okay, next up, Charlie.
Chicago. Patrick Kane is one of my favorite players. I have him right back here, and I think he's really good in offense, good goal scorer.
And I'm not going to argue that at all. I mean, we both know Taser's up there too, but Kane, I agree. Kane's the best player.
Then we go on to Colorado. I just think Nathan McKinnon is.
I agree. We both were lucky enough to be at the Sweden-North America game last summer in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And we saw what he can do in overtime. Yeah. Maybe we'll post a video of us going crazy after the celebration, but I agree, Nathan McKinnon.
I got stuck with Tyson Barrie and McKinnon. I just had to go with McKinnon.
Good pick.
And then you go on to Columbus. I just think Bobrovsky. I got stuck with Atkinson, Bobrovsky, and Panarin. Just Bobrovsky winning the Vezina would do it.
Yeah, winning the Vezina. I agree. Bobrovsky, that's my pick too. Two Vezinas. All right, next up.
Then we have Dallas. I went with Tyler Seguin. He won a cup with Boston.
That's a good pick. I went a little bit of a different direction. I took Jamie Benn. He's only a couple years removed from that Art Ross, and I don't think either one of those picks is bad, but again, that's a tough call.
And Detroit, there's Hart, there's Tatar, there's Mrazek, there's Zetterberg. I just had to go with Tatar.
Tatar, that's a good pick. I had a tough time too. I would have liked to have taken Larkin had he not had such a bad minus year last year. So I went with their captain, Henrik Zetterberg. Next up.
Edmonton, he just had to go with Connor McDavid.
How do you not pick McJesus? We both picked Connor. So next up, Florida.
Aaron Ekblad.
Aaron Ekblad. I actually took Ekblad too. Face of the franchise moving forward, right?
Also Barkov, he's a hard one.
Yeah, he's a good pick too. But I think we both picked Ekblad. So next up.
In LA, Drew Doughty. I got stuck with Kopitar and Quick, but in Carter, just look at Kopitar this year. I couldn't put him on. And then Quick got hurt most of the year, so I had to pick Doughty.
I agree. I think none of those guys are a bad pick, but I also picked Drew Doughty.
And Minnesota, I picked Ryan Suter. He's their great defenseman.
Yeah, I think he's a big leader on that team. I went a different direction this time. It was a tough pick. I chose Dubnyk. He had a great first half. He had a little bit of a rough patch in the second half, but I really feel he helped Minnesota take that next step as far as making a name for themselves in the West there. So
And then Montreal, you had to go with Carey Price.
you got to go with Carey Price. He's the best goalie in the world. Both of us agreed in our top 5 or top 10 goalie list, and he's got to be the best player in Montreal. So next up,
In Nashville, I got kind of stuck with Yossi and Subban. I just had to go with Subban.
it's hard to argue Subban. I mean, he's one of the best players in the NHL. I went a different direction. I went with a forward, and I took Philip Forsberg. Again, I think he scored a lot of big goals for them in the playoffs last year.
I also think he's going to get more ice time with the Predators losing James Neal. He's probably going to.
That's a great point, Charlie. The Predators did lose James Neal, and the goals got to come from somewhere, and sky's the limit for that kid.
And they just got Alexei Emelin.
That's right. So next up,
We have New Jersey. Again, I looked at Corey Schneider. He had a not that good of a year this year, but I just had to go with him over Taylor Hall. And
I agree. I think we both agree. If you took Schneider away from the Devils, I think they might, for sure, they finished last place, maybe worse than last place, whatever that is. Maybe they have a season like Washington did in 74 or 75, whatever season that was.
In 92.
The Senators in 92, exactly. Taylor Hall was up there as well, but I think if you take Taylor Hall away from that team, they still finished kind of where they were. Nothing against Hall, he's a great player, but so next up?
We have the Islanders. You have to pick Tavares.
You gotta pick Tavares. I mean, look, if he's there next year, after the end of next year, as a UFA, I mean, who knows where he goes, but if the Islanders don't do something, he's out of there, I would bet.
If they lose Tavares, they're not going high. Even if they have Jordan Eberle, they're still not going high.
Exactly. So next up?
We have the Rangers. Had to go for Christopher McDonough and Shattenkirk.
You gotta go with Hank. He's one of the best goalies in the
Almost
NHL.
won Stanley Cup.
Exactly. Pretty much all by himself in a few years ago when they lost to LA, so he's our man. So next
I
up?
almost picked Shattenkirk.
Shattenkirk. Hey, he hasn't even played a game there yet. Who's next?
Ottawa, Eric Carlson.
Eric Carlson. I mean, if anyone can give me an argument why he's not the best player on that team, again, that pass, that saucer pass to Hoffman in the playoffs, that's one of the best passes maybe of all time. I mean, hands down, best D.
Then we have Philadelphia. I had to go with Wayne Simmons, just looking at him this year.
Wayne Simmons, I agree. Hey, he does it all for them. Scores, assists, fights, penalty minutes, block shots.
I also have stuck with Gostisbehere, Jerome Profile.
Yeah, those are all good picks, but I think you're right. I like that Simmons. Next up?
Pittsburgh, you had to go with Crosby.
You got to go with Sid. 2 Conn Smythes, 3 Stanley Cups, best player in the world the last 3 years since he's been injury-free. I mean, the guy is just, he does it all for Pittsburgh.
Then we have San Jose, Brett Burns.
Brett Burns, I agree. Burns,
This year. The Norris.
The Norris, exactly. I mean, he is the definition of a rover out there, and he does it all for San Jose. So next up?
St. Louis, you had to go with Tarasenko.
Tarasenko, he's their money guy. He might not be the leader in the room, but he's the guy. He scores the goals.
Allen and Peter Angelo, just good picks.
All good picks, but I agreed I had Tarasenko.
Then we have Tampa Bay. I went with Hedman.
Hedman, Norris Trophy nomination. More than likely, he's going to win a few Norrises. I actually went the other way. I went with Kucherov. Neither one of us chose Stamkos.
Because he got hurt.
He's been hurt, and Tampa Bay still does it without them. And I think a big reason why they did what they did is Hedman and Kucherov. So those are our picks.
Then we went to Toronto. You had to pick Austin.
Austin Matthews. I'm not going to sing the song, but hey, he's the face of the franchise moving forward. Austin Matthews. He's going to hit him with the floor light. Austin Matthews.
And then Frederik Andersen's also a good pick too.
He's a great pick. He had a big year, and he showed why Toronto went out and traded a first rounder for him, and why they gave him that big contract. So yeah.
And then Vancouver, I went with Bo Horvat. He's a young guy. He's
up and coming. Yeah.
He's Vancouver's franchise guy.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. I believe I agree with you. Horvat's he's moving forward. He's the guy, but I still think right now their best player, in my opinion, is Hank Sedin. You could have picked either Sedin, but I think Hank distributes the puck a little bit better than Daniel, and he was my pick.
And then Vegas, I went with James Neal, the new team. The Predators lose James Neal.
Yep.
Maybe Vegas makes the playoffs.
Yeah. The goals.
If they don't have Neil, they don't get goals.
That's right. And the goals got to come from somewhere. And I think you're right, Charlie. I think James is going to be the big guy scoring them.
Got stuck with Fleury's also a good goalie.
Fleury was my pick. I know they're going to market Fleury big in Vegas as being a Stanley Cup champion and 3 Cup champion, right? So I think both those picks are good.
He almost won 4. He just lost to Detroit in 2008.
Exactly. Next
and
up.
Then we have the Washington Capitals that with Braden Holtby this year.
I agree. He's the guy. He's their, a Vezina Trophy, multiple Vezina nominations. I agree.
In the
He's
playoffs, he did okay.
Yep, I think Washington would agree that everyone could have stepped it up. It would have been nice to see Holtby maybe steal a game or 2 from Pittsburgh, but hey, they lost to the Stanley Cup champions, and there's no shame in that. So.
Also, Ovi was a good pick, but
Ovi's a good pick too.
But I thought Holtby.
Yep. So next up.
Then Winnipeg, Patrick Laine, great rookie.
Yep. Huge future for that kid, right? I mean, I don't think he hit 40 this year, but I know he was close, maybe 37, 38. And I went with Scheifele. I think between Laine and Scheifele broke out of his shell this year and showed the NHL why he was so highly scouted coming out of Barrie. So, again, that's our best players on each team. Remember, it's not our favorite, it's our best. So that's, as always, I'm your host, Chuck, with my genius man here.
Charlie.
And as always, we're talking